Welcome back, everyone, to Star Wars Abridged. Today we are going to be jumping right into Chapter 4 of Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. And if you want my opinion, which normally you might not, but if you want my opinion, I think this is really the definitive chapter that makes this book stand above other stories in the Star Wars universe. This is really the chapter that just really sucks you in and shows you that this book is the real deal. But enough talk. Let's jump straight into Chapter 4. So we are seeing events through the eyes of Captain Pelion again, and this chapter is strictly from his point of view, and it really puts into perspective just how significant these characters are in this story, and just how menacing they are in the eyes of a normal person. So we start out back on the Chimera. Thrawn is now in possession of multiple ysalamiri, so since the last time we saw the Empire, they got help from Talon Karrde in capturing ysalamiri, and we'll see in this chapter exactly why Thrawn needs the creatures. As Pelion is nervously eyeing the ysalamiri, he tells Thrawn that he doesn't understand why the creatures are necessary, since they are going to a place that was created by Emperor Palpatine. It is revealed that they are in search of a certain secret base that Palpatine had created, and that they are more specifically in search of a guardian that Palpatine appointed to guard this secret place. Thrawn tells Pelion that the ysalamiri are more of a precaution than anything, and he expects that the guardian won't be convinced that they're part of the Empire, and are still carrying out Palpatine's orders, so that's kind of the reason that he's bringing the ysalamiri along. It is then revealed that Thrawn believes this Guardian is a Dark Jedi, not a Sith, and it's important not to get the two confused because, as we know, due to the rule of two, there can be no more than two Sith. So Thrawn believes that Palpatine appointed a Dark Jedi as the Guardian of this base. A shuttle leaves the Chimera with Thrawn, Pelion, and Rook on board. Pelion is still wondering why Palpatine would choose a Dark Jedi to guard the base on Wayland, and it is teased that whatever is in the secret storehouse is way too important for generic Imperial forces like stormtroopers and AT-ATs. As the shuttle is about to touch down on Wayland's surface, Mount Tantiss comes into view. And just as a reminder, Mount Tantiss played a huge role in Season 2 of The Bad Batch and will also play a big role in Season 3. It is the facility that Omega and Crosshair are currently being held in. The shuttle touches down in the middle of a town or city at the base of Mount Tantiss. When Thrawn, Rook, and Pelion get out, Thrawn announces that he is in search of the Guardian of the Mountain and asks if anyone within the city will help him. He gets no response and is instead shot by a crossbow bolt, but he has protective gear on under his vest. Thrawn asks Rook if he knew where the shot came from, and Rook says yes. Thrawn orders Rook to completely level the building that the shooter was in, and Rook makes quick work of it. Thrawn threatens the citizens of the city to help him, or wrath will be unleashed on everyone. A voice then calls out and says they will help Thrawn. Thrawn then turns around and sees an old man with long hair and a very long beard walking out of the city's palace. It is the ruler of the city. The old man tells Thrawn, Pelion, and Rook to follow him into the palace, and he reveals that the Guardian used to live in the mountain, but when he began his rule, the people of the city built the palace for the Guardian. They get inside the building, and the old man leads the Imperial trio into a room with two guards standing inside. The guards are ordered to leave, and Thrawn sees that the room is lit by hundreds of candles, and that there is no Guardian inside of it. They are actually in a crypt. Thrawn then says that the Guardian is dead, and the old man confirms. He then asks the trio if they see all of the candles, and he says that they each represent a person that has died at the hands of the old man. He also reveals that he was the one to kill the Guardian. The old man then threatens Thrawn, Pelion, and Rook, and then blasts a flurry of force lightning from his fingertips toward them. Pelion, who is fearing for his life, pulls his blaster, but he sees the lightning stop about a meter in front of them. Thrawn then calls the old man the Guardian of the Mountain, and the old man repeats himself that the Guardian is dead. Thrawn then agrees, but says that the old man is the new Guardian serving the Emperor, and the old man says he serves no one. He blasts force lightning at the Imperial trio again, but it fails this time too. It never reaches them. Confused, the old man says to Thrawn that they are not Jedi and asks how his lightning has no effect on it. Thrawn tells the old man to join them and he will reveal their secret. The old man then calls himself a Jedi Master and says that he joins no one. Thrawn then asks if the old man will let them be the ones to join him, and tells the old man that he can show him how to have more power than he could possibly imagine. The old man agrees. So, just as a quick side note, we can kind of see that there is something a little shady about this old man. He claims to be a Jedi Master, but uses Force lightning and has a thirst for more power, so you can kind of tell right off the bat that something's not right. Thrawn then asks the old man who he is, and he says his name is Joruus C'baoth. The mention of that name really bothers Pellaeon to the point where it even makes him shudder, but it doesn't tell us just yet why he is so bothered. Thrawn, Pellaeon, and Rook then follow C'baoth outside of the crypt and back outside. When they get out there, they come face to face with one of the guards from inside that has a crossbow pointed at Thrawn. C'baoth tells Thrawn that the building Rook destroyed was the man's home, and the man fires a crossbow bolt at Thrawn. The bolt freezes in midair and is destroyed. It was C'baoth using the Force. In response, Thrawn motions to Rook, and the creature fires his blaster at the guard. In what is described as a blur of motion, C'baoth hurls a rock with the Force and puts it directly in line with the blaster bolt, blocking it from hitting the guard. He wants no more bloodshed, and Thrawn agrees and apologizes. The group then walks a bit further and then begins talking. C'baoth wants to know first and foremost how they were able to stop his lightning, and Thrawn reveals that the ysalamiri wrapped around his neck is able to completely negate any Force abilities within a couple meters around it. In other words, the Force has absolutely no effect on anyone with a ysalamiri. C'baoth then asks if that is why Thrawn brought the ysalamiri, and he says that he expected the Emperor's Guardian to be powerful in the Force, but that it was really only a bonus. The real reason he has the ysalamiri will be revealed at a future time, only after they are granted passage to the Emperor's storehouses within Mount Tantus. Thrawn then reveals that there is a secret cloaking shield that was built inside the mountain that he needs, and that there is some other technology that he is interested in. Technology that is so important that cloaking shields were created to hide it. Thrawn then reveals that he doesn't just need passage inside the mountain. He also needs the help of a Jedi-like figure like C'baoth, and asks C'baoth to pledge his loyalty to him. Thrawn then says that he believes the Imperial fleet failed after the Emperor's death because they had no one to truly lead them. He wants C'baoth to be the binding glue that holds the Imperial remnant together. Thrawn then tells C'baoth that if he will help them, he will have all the power in the world, the control over millions, even billions of people. C'baoth is not interested. He says he has all he needs there in his city on Wayland. Thrawn, who has C'baoth right where he wants him, says that C'baoth must have other Jedi there with him, even though he knows he doesn't. C'baoth, who is confused, says all of the Jedi were killed and that he is the last one. Thrawn then tells the old man that is not true, and tells him of Luke and Leia, and says that if he will help Thrawn, he can deliver Luke and Leia to him, so that the Jedi can be reunited, and C'baoth can have control over them. C'baoth is now a little more interested, but Thrawn sweetens the pot by telling him that Leia is carrying twins, and that there is a good chance they are both Force sensitive. C'baoth is now really interested, and tells Thrawn that he will help him in exchange for Luke and Leia. The group then enters the mountain, and after hours of searching, they find the cloaking device as well as the technology that Thrawn was in search for. Back on the Chimera, Pellaeon enters Thrawn's room and wants to talk to him. He tells Thrawn that he doesn't think they should trust C'baoth. He is a Jedi and may not be completely sane. Thrawn agrees that C'baoth is not sane, but then reveals really the first major plot twist of this book. The old man is not really Joruus C'baoth. He is a clone of the Jedi Master. Pellaeon is extremely confused, and Thrawn reveals that the real C'baoth died before the Clone Wars on a ship. He reveals that there were 6 Jedi on board a ship together, and that Palpatine couldn't pass up the opportunity to take out 6 Jedi at once, so he had them killed. Pellaeon, who is still confused, asks Thrawn how he could possibly know this, and the Grand Admiral tells him that he was the commander and the one to carry out the order and kill the Jedi. Pellaeon asks how that could happen, and how C'baoth could be a clone, and Thrawn says that a tissue sample from the real C'baoth must have been taken to make a clone form of the Jedi. Pellaeon is now angry that C'baoth is aboard the Chimera, and Thrawn does admit that it is a bit of a risk to have him on board, but that they are safe due to the 6 ysalamiri that they have with them. Pellaeon accepts Thrawn's explanation and leaves the room. That wraps up Chapter 4 of Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. This was a very important chapter, and as you can probably guess, C'baoth ends up becoming a very major character down the line, and you'll see just how important he is later, but his introduction, really important. We had the big plot twist that this is a clone of someone that is Force sensitive, which in certain Legends material is said is impossible. So, very interesting chapter, very interesting character in Sabaoth, and we will get into chapter 5 in the next video. And as always, I thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Please like, subscribe, comment. Love to hear back from you. May the force be with you.